Alrighty, enough about Ninja Gaiden for now, which, if you're interested, check these out. I want to talk about another game that I've loved for years, and no, it's not Call of Duty itself. I'd never be caught loving the entire game, other than Black Ops 2. I'm talking about the Zombies game mode. The best thing about the entire Call of Duty franchise, and why it's not that way anymore. Don't get me wrong, Black Ops 6 Zombies is awesome, and I personally enjoy it when it works. Between randomly crashing and lacking in a solo game, I'm tired of playing it. Last week, in 2 games going to round 9, one on Citadel de Mor, and another on the Jingle Hells game mode, I lost 2 Perkaholics, 2 Wunderbars, 3 Secret Powers, 2 Raindrops, and many others because of that last issue. It's kind of nuts that that's what we're dealing with now. Then there's the AI-generated loading screens, which I didn't even think to notice until the 6-fingered Santa debacle, and also the whole AI-generated voice lines thing they're wanting to do, or something like that. If you haven't heard, they're pretty much trying to make it to where if you voice act for Activision, or at least Call of Duty, they can replicate the voice you used with AI. It's a whole thing. The voice of Sam and Peck have already been replaced. And all of this upsets me, because at one point I look forward to playing this game at the end of my day. Let me take you back to a time when Zombies was in its prime. If you're like me, you were getting off school and turning on your console to load up a match or 2 of Zombies, whether it be by yourself or with friends. Figuring out Easter eggs yourselves, or at least trying to, making plans to go to high rounds or farm liquid diviniums in Black Ops 3, even going so far as to draw out an extremely detailed bird's eye view of Shadows of Evil in class that confused your art teacher because you also labeled doors, wall buys, boxes, gum machines, etc. Those were the good old days. My favorite point in Zombies was Black Ops 3, which is why I was so excited about Black Ops 6. It felt pretty similar, minus certain features like salvage. The Gobblegums making a return was awesome because for some reason, just like Nuka-Cola from Fallout, I have a weird fascination with them, and if I could have them in real life all the time, I would. And I do plan on making them for myself as collectibles at some point, so... And the maps at this point, too, were awesome. The release maps were epic as hell. Unlike most of the people as of recently, Shadows of Evil was one of my favorite maps immediately upon laying eyes on it, and still is. I'm a huge fan of the 40s and just the soundtrack. And I also spent hours doing high rounds on the Giant standing on the catwalk at the camping spot. The Rezendrock came out and blew away most of the player base, me included, because I'm a huge fan of the stabs, and to see the lightning element get love properly with this one just made my heart happy. It's peak for high rounds camping for anyone who doesn't know. Then Zetsubo no Shima. Oh, this map. The greatest thing to grace Zombies, at least in my opinion. But you get what I'm saying. Black Ops 3 was amazing, and with the way that they advertised 6, it pretty much seemed like Black Ops 3 2 Electric Boogaloo. And within the first month, it did feel that way, for the most part. The whole salvage system and armor system are something I personally don't enjoy, but other than that, the game was amazing. Or is, should I say. When it isn't plagued by all of the issues boggling it down. And yes, Black Ops 3 had its issues too, but that was when Treyarch actually listened to the community. Now they're just straight up lying, apparently. The game has a desync issue, which is very obvious to anyone who's played it, and it's unfortunately a common issue that happens with most cross-platform games. Halo Infinite was horrible about it for a while, and still is from time to time. But they said that blood splattering, which indicates a bullet hitting an enemy, was just a visual glitch in cases where there was a blood splatter that happened on an enemy and no damage occurred. Multiplayer was hit the hardest with this issue, and I feel bad for anyone who bought the excuse they gave. But I digress. This game has essentially been one issue after another after the first month of release. Even within that first month of release, it still had some balancing issues. Especially with Wunderbar, it would literally just give you the ray gun other than the actual wonder weapon of the map. It's supposed to give you pretty much a 50-50 shot, depending on how many wonder weapons there are and if you can get them from the box. But I don't really understand why. It's a multi-million-dollar company owned by a multi-billion-dollar company. I mean, I get you could hire not good people, and maybe that'd be an excuse for the way they've treated the community, but the server issues? People have given me fixes for them, but I shouldn't have to go within my fucking game files to do so. Now should I? I have already had to do this once when the game settings wouldn't save. I'm not doing it again. But alas, what more can we say? We've already said these things multiple times and they've barely heard anything. Such is the gaming industry. But the doom and gloom aside, I do think that if those issues were ironed out, however likely that is, this game could be amazing. I mean, it was amazing when it launched. It was apparently Call of Duty's most popular launch, even bringing me back to it, and I've hated this game for years. It has the groundwork it had then, it just needs to stick to its guns, and Activision or Treyarch, whoever's doing all of this stupidity just needs to stop. Zombies has proven that it can be awesome as hell just by being itself when it's not affected by random nonsensical issues. I've put more than enough hours into it myself, and Citadel was a banger. Granted, the wonder weapons in it definitely need work. They are absolutely not the bows and staves in terms of killing power, and I do feel they should, just given how much of a sponge zombies can be once you start getting up there in rounds. I know that these issues will be solved in time, maybe, and I'll eventually have fun with this game again. I will definitely be putting hours into the older games again though, namely Black Ops 3, as I'm in the middle of doing a series going over the story for zombies for it right now. Which, yes, I am sorry for those of you who have been waiting for that one. I promise that video is going to be the next one. I've been slacking on the Giant, but I do need to re-record it because I did it when I was sick. But hey, no biggie. Until then, do the things, hit the like button, subscribe, and all that weird shit, I guess. Stick around for the next one. You won't want to miss it. See you then.